So take us back then to when you were a young man just starting out doing stage work.
Right.
How do you get confidence then when you don't have that experience? What lessons did you learn at that young age that you're still using today as a more experienced actor?
So I went to drama school in Scotland. It's now the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. And I think, again, we had a very broad classical actor education, from wearing tights to fencing to Shakespeare to whatever. And I think they gave us a very broad understanding of certain types of or certain genres of acting and theatre and film. So I guess that gives you a level or a base level of understanding. But I think, honestly, the most learning comes from actually being on the job, and then again, I guess, a belief in yourself, not getting in your own way and then going, actually, can I do this? And go, okay, let's see what happens. And I think for me, that's what I love about acting, is that it's like this moment before they roll the camera or you go on stage, but you don't know what's going to happen. You kind of know the guidelines, the playing field, the game is 45 minutes long or 90 minutes long, whatever, but you don't know what's going to happen in that time period, but you just rely on your own skills. And
so what's been the biggest learning you've had then?
Wow. I don't know, ask me in maybe 20 years, but I don't know. I think I'm in a very lucky place, I think. I've been lucky, I've been determined, stubborn, and at the moment I have a lot of opportunity to do things, and I think I'm enjoying that, and I think enjoyment's really important, isn't it? You have to enjoy what you're doing.
And right now, it's good, right? You're in the dream space for an actor where you can look at jobs and you might take them, you might not. You've got lots of projects on the go.
Yeah.
Was it good for you that you were still in your early 30s and you didn't really have much money in the bank, and you did finish a job and had no other work, and I think I'm right in saying you genuinely thought, maybe this isn't for me, maybe I need to get a proper job, so to speak?
Yeah, Jake, absolutely. I was, probably a lot older than you are right now, but
no, but
I was still, in my sort of early 30s, and I was just come back from America, and quite interestingly, I've only just come back from America now. Then I was traveling around America by bus, going to auditions by bus, which was kind of unheard of in those times. And just now I was there, in a very different situation, and it just gave me a lot of time to reflect and look how far I've come. But yeah, I came back to the UK. I'd had some sort of level of success, but really was, I'd signed on back onto the dole. I was working in a bar. I was trying all different ways to survive. And I realized, can I do this? I'm almost, getting closer to 40, and can I survive like this, So I really was considering a change of career, and that's when Outlander came knocking.
It's a really good message, though, for people listening to this, because Damien writes a lot in the books that he's written about the messy middle, that anything you start out on, whether it's a career, a project, there's always going to be that bit where you think, actually, this thing's going to fail. But quite often, as you write, the success is just on the other side of that moment where people give up all too often. And I think we don't have enough resilience these days built into young people.
Yeah.
So they start on a path, find it's a struggle, haven't really experienced struggle in their lives up until that point, and give up. Whereas the struggle is actually part of the journey. You have to learn to accept, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to play the violin here, but I definitely struggled, a lot as an actor, and, had highs and very sort of lows as well. I had, bailiffs at the door, and I was, really struggling, but also great highs. And I think, I just think that's also grounded me. I think if I'd had success at an early age, I would have been a complete mess. I would have been probably all over the tabloids, but really? I think this has given me, a grounding.
So what kept you going then in those dark moments?
It's probably pig-headedness and stupidity, but I'll say it's stubbornness and drive. But yeah, I guess a belief and determination. And I guess if you stick in it long enough, your opposition, they're all going to fade away at some point. But yeah, I guess it was this belief, and it was like, I actually don't want to do anything else. Like I want to do this.
And did you do anything different? Or did you just carry on doing the same thing and eventually the success came?
I think I became more experienced. I think it was more about the almost like the playing field. Like began to know who the other players were, whether it's a casting director or a director or the building I would have to go to for the audition, or I don't know. So then you start to go, okay, I get now what the playing field is, and then in
that brings you a comfort then,
which brings comfort. And I think at that point, the more comfortable I am, I realized the more then I can allow myself to do what I do, I guess.